Hey everybody, it's Karen Bentley here. Thank you for finding your way to my channel. I'm truly grateful that we have some time to spend together. What I do here is I explain to anybody with a dependency or unwanted behavior how to capture the energy in that dependency, claim it for self as personal power, and use it to transform life into something more satisfying, more functional, more enjoyable, and easier. So that's what I'm about. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite topic, which is warriorhood. And in particular, I am extending from me to you. This is my personal invitation from me to you to consider taking the vow to become a harmless warrior. If you found your way here today, I'm assuming you were magnetized by the words warrior, vow, and harmless. And I'm going to define each of those for you real quickly. So a warrior is someone who is trained and skilled and dedicated to fighting a battle and winning. The only worthy battle is to win over the ever-present impulse to self-destruct, which happens to us all. We all have the impulse. It comes with being on planet Earth. But some of us, like me, like you, we feel it more than others. And so we have this battle for our whole lives of winning over that impulse, lifting up over it. We can't get rid of it, but we can lift ourselves up over it. We can kick it and say it doesn't matter. So that is what a warrior is. Harmlessness is not hurting yourself, and that's really important if you have a dependency because, you're hurting yourself all the time. So it's not hurting yourself. It's not hurting others. It's not hurting our world or the beings and things in it. And it's a big idea to become harmless. And the third thing is a vow. A vow is a decision. It's a long-term decision, a very important decision, something you don't make lightly. It's not like, oh, what book should I read today, or what should I have for dinner, or what TV show am I going to watch? This is an important, serious decision that you have to make with full consideration, kicking it around. Does it work for me? Does it not work for me? Not for me. Or, yeah, this sets my heart on fire. So only you can answer that. And what I want to do for you today is explain 3 important considerations before you make this decision. One is the relinquishment of guilt, which leads to drama, anxiety, angst, and fear. 2 is the vow being irrevocable and permanent. And 3 is the idea that harmlessness is subtle and countercultural, which makes it very hard. So we're going to do each of those things independently. But first, I wanted to remind you, I'm the author of this book, The Power to Stop. It's a 30-day program for ending any dependency or unwanted behavior. Or alternatively, it's 30 great ideas for stopping yourself. You can get it at Amazon or any bookstore. I've got a link in the description, so check it out. Okay. So our first idea is that you need to think about is that when you stop hurting yourself, you stop being guilty. You stop being afraid. You stop worrying. You stop scaring yourself. All of that either completely disappears or at least gets minimized down to a manageable roar where you're not consumed and distracted with your own state of mind. Because why? Because you are not hurting yourself. And this makes you feel good. And when you feel good, great things happen. For one thing, you don't need a drink. You don't need a drug. You don't need mindless sex. You don't need to do something like gambling or watching porn or whatever it is that you do to distract yourself from this great discomfort because you don't have it. You don't have to have the booby prize. You get the real prize. You get being able to live with yourself. So the first thing you need to know is that when you make the decision to become harmless. You make the decision to stop scaring yourself, which eliminates massive amount of drama and distraction and the need to numb out or escape. That's really a big plus thing about becoming a harmless warrior. The second thing you need to know is that your vow is irrevocable. Irrevocable means it can't be undone. It's permanent. It's a lifetime decision. From the moment you make your decision to become harmless to the moment that you exit this body, you are holding your vow to become a harmless being. And why is that? Why is it irrevocable? It is because you are making a bid for power. You are accumulating power. You are bringing power into your being and collecting it. The power is you. It is inside you. It's in your DNA. It infiltrates your DNA, which changes you. It is in your heartbeat. It is in your breath. It is in your hair. It is in your toes. It is in your femur. It is everywhere. Power becomes you. And there's nothing you can do to undo this power. It is yours. It is irrevocable. So, you need to think about this very carefully and seriously. Do you want to do this dance with power? Do you want to take this on, to take this in to your being, to your life? Because it's a very big decision. It's going to completely change you. Is this what you want? Think about it carefully before you make the decision. It can't be undone. That's just the way it is. The third thing you need to know about making the vow to become a harmless warrior is that it's a very subtle decision, and it is a countercultural decision. And both of those qualities make it very hard. So let's talk about subtle first. Subtle means that it's under the radar. It means most people won't see it. Most people aren't aware of it. They don't acknowledge it. They won't even know what you're talking about. It would be pretty goofy to go out and make an announcement and say, well, I'm a harmless warrior. I've taken a vow. I mean, number one, that really is a little bit goofy. And number two, nobody's going to know what you're talking about. They don't know what a harmless warrior is. That's just woo-woo stuff. And they'll just be looking at you like, who is this person? So you don't announce it. It's a decision that you make privately, by yourself, for yourself. And, that might be hard for some people. Let's further talk about subtlety. Subtlety is that, for one thing, harmlessness is not valued in our culture. In fact, it is devalued. If you are harmless in the face of difficulties, many people will think you're weak. It's a sign. It's not perceived as a sign of strength. It's perceived as being a wussy, a doormat, just letting people disrespect you and walk all over you. This is what harmlessness is mistakenly perceived as, when in fact the complete opposite is true. It takes great strength to be harmless in the face of so many difficulties that we all have in our lives and in our world. It takes great awareness, great willingness, great intention. So it's not an act of wussiness at all. It's an act of great integrity and strength. But it is not perceived that way. So you have to deal with that. That's hard. Additionally, harmlessness, even physical acts of harmness, which are easily recognizable. So let's take, pushing somebody or punching somebody or hurting somebody or maiming somebody or breaking a bone or even killing somebody. That's obviously an act of harm. Physical harm is pretty easy, even for the untrained eye, to discern, right? It's easy. You can recognize it when you see it. But, and here's a big but, it's a really big but. And I want you to consider any action movie that you've ever seen. Take any one, an action movie, an action cartoon, it doesn't matter what one you use, because they're all the same. In every action movie, there's a hero or a heroine or a team of heroes and heroines, and there's a villain or a team of villains that they are trying to get, and they're trying to get them and stop them and hurt them and eradicate them and kill them and do bad things to them. And the heroes, their hateful violence, harmfulness is perceived as good, warranted. It's a way to get even. It's a way to stop badness. It's a way to seek vengeance and revenge and justice. So this violence is misperceived as necessary, as useful. And of course, the villain's violence is perceived as bad and wrong and to be stopped. And it's this whole idea that, some violence is good and some violence is bad. And, and you can tell the difference when in fact we can't. All violence, any act of harm is ultimately going to make you feel bad about yourself. It will make you feel very bad. It will keep you up at night. It will make you scared. It will make you worried. This is exactly what you don't want if you're dealing with a dependency, especially. You don't need any more fear and worry in your life. You need to release these things. So we have physical violence that is easily discerned as harmful, but not easily perceived as harmful, especially if you think you're the good guy. And everybody thinks they're the good guy. And it's the idea that, we think we can get rid of harmfulness by killing it. And we can't, because we have taken on the harm and kept it alive. So, it's a really completely different mindset about what it means to be harmless. And this, can't be explained in 5 minutes here on this video, but it's something I go into more deeply in my boot camp, and more about that in a second. The other idea is that there is other ways to be harmful that don't involve physical acts. You can be verbally harmful. You can be emotionally harmful. You can be socially harmful. You can be financially harmful. And all of these acts of harm, they hurt people just as much. But we are trained as earthlings from the moment we can talk as infants how to use these tools of non-physical vengeance on others to get people to do what we want in our world, to make people feel bad for not doing what we want. And, it's very hard to give up hissy fits. It's very hard to give up guilt trips. It's very hard to give up blaming and complaining and whining. It's very hard to, not to get into it with people. And it takes great awareness to overcome that hardness. And it takes training, and it takes skills, and it takes a whole new set of tools, because you are not being asked to let your problems go unsolved. No. That's not being asked of you. You are not being asked to become somebody where anything goes. No. You're not being asked of that either. What you're being asked to is to find a way, a creative way, to solve problems without acts of non-physical or physical harm. And that takes complete retraining. It takes a totally new skill set, because the skills you have are all around harm, non-physical harm. That's what we use. We all use it. We've all used it bazillion times. And then we wonder why we feel bad. We wonder why we're afraid. We wonder why, things go bad. And it's because we are being harmful. We're totally unaware of it. And again, this is something that is culturally unrecognized as harm. Our conditioning is to do whatever is expedient, to speak up for self, to speak our truth, so to speak, even if that truth is harmful. And I'm not saying don't speak your truth. I'm saying speak it in a way where you are more precise with your words, where you are aware that words can be harmful or harmless. And you can speak your truth in a harmless way rather than a harmful one. So I'm not asking you to stop speaking your truth, to hide, to pretend, to do any of those things, but just rather to bring consciousness to it. So What I offer at the Warriors Boot Camp here in New Hampshire is the opportunity to make a fully informed decision to take the vow to be a harmless warrior. What I offer is a completely new mindset for thinking about this and understanding it in a way that will direct you strategically for the rest of your life without me or anybody else yapping at you. What I offer is a completely revolutionary, radical set of 7 tools for getting what you want from life, for solving your problems in a harmless way, where you're not a doormat, but where you're not hurting others either. And what I offer is the experience, the direct experience of using those tools, practicing them, seeing how they work, how you need to refine yourself to start putting them to use in your everyday life. And what I offer you is me, my big energy, my big devotion, my big passion. And you're not going to get any of these things anywhere else on planet Earth except here in New Hampshire with me at my Warriors Boot Camp. I ask you to consider it. If you're interested, reach out to me. Go to my website. Leave me a comment below. However you'd like to communicate, I'm glad to hear from you and talk to you about it. If you like this content, please click the like button. It will help me enormously. If you'd like to see me on your homepage when your YouTube feed comes up, subscribe. I'll be there whenever there's a new video, and I try to make a new one every Thursday. In the meantime, please come back. I can't wait to be with you again. Bye for now.